My name is Zana Burkey and welcome to my YouTube channel. In case you are new here, I'm a young adult fiction author and oh my gosh, you guys, Big Brother was insane. I literally made it back from the gym just in time to take a shower and watch the episode, and I am still reeling with everything that just happened. In this video, I'm going to give a quick rundown of everything that's going on in the house and then talk about my predictions for this coming week. This is the first time I've watched a live episode in 2 weeks now. Last week I was just super busy. I was busy at work. We're trying to get ready to figure out what's going on. I work at an after school program, so figure out what's going on with like the school district and the school year. And then the week before that, I was in Ohio visiting family and didn't get to watch really any episodes the full way through live. So tonight was the first time, and I'm not gonna lie, I picked the right one to watch. This was explosive start to finish. There was just so much going on in the house, and all of it kind of started with Danny. Now, if you guys don't know, Danny is in the Committee Alliance, and she's also in the Slick Six. That alliance excludes Nicole Franzel, which is important in a minute. Basically, Danny's going around and she's telling this person not to trust this person and this person not to trust that person, and she's very much weaving a web that she's gonna get caught in herself. She is planting seeds of distrust, and as good as that might be long term, the fact that she's doing it to so many different people, and when they fact check a little bit, they realize it's not so good. The only thing I can hope is that she is doing that to herself amongst the Slick Six Alliance, and it's not happening inside the committee. Sorry, I'm so excited I can't even talk, because I don't want Nicole Franzel to be in danger at all. So we see all this going down with Danny. Christmas is, of course, on the block with Kaser, and just watching this episode, it continued to just remind me how much I love Kaser. Kaser and Janelle, their first ever season was the first ever season of Big Brother I watched. I then, of course, watched Big Brother All-Stars, and then was hooked from there and watched sporadically throughout history from then on. Some summers I was definitely a little more busy just working or things like that, but they are two of the people that got me super interested in the show just because of their amazing gameplay, their alliances, just everything. And so to see Kaser know that he was probably going home and kind of have him just deal with it was really hard, especially because he goes to Memphis, who is the head of the Committee Alliance. And it was really rough to see because, you know, Kaser's going to him pleading for his life without realizing that he's one of the people that is helping to vote him out. And that was a little hard. But then the episode definitely got really interesting from there, because along with all of that, the other thing that was also going on is that Ian has been figuring out what's happening in the house. He's been paying attention. He's been connecting the dots. He's been seeing the bigger picture, and he realizes that there's not a 4-person alliance. There's a bigger alliance who's controlling most of the house and doing some pretty big things. And he chose to tell Kevin, which I think was interesting because Kevin is kind of the border, or like not the border, he's the definition, that's the word, of a floater this season. He's very much on his own. Yes, he did win veto to get himself off the block, but he's very much on his own. And unless he wins an HOH and makes a big move or a big alliance, I don't think he's going to make it super far in this game. Cue the Rachel floaters grab a life vest clip we all know and dislike. Her voice is just grating. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, so I don't think he'll go super far. I also don't think David's gonna go super far. We've seen some really messy gameplay from him, but that's a whole nother story. But so Ian realizes all this. He goes to Kaser and he basically says, hey, guess what? And I was a little surprised that Kaser decided to spread all that through the house, mostly because he knew it wasn't going to help his game. He was going to be out of the door, but I think by dropping that kind of a bomb, he was remembered. It shook up the house, and it's going to make for some really good TV this next week. So Kaser basically, he stood up. He was like, Nicole and Cody are working together. They're also working with a bunch of other people. Here's some of those names. And in doing so, he listed most of the people in either the committee or the Slick Six, most of the committee. And he also connected the fact that all the guys are working together, that like, you know, Tyler, Cody, and Enzo are certainly working together. He also thinks that David's like a large part of their like super close-knit group, which even if he was for a hot second, he's not anymore because of everything that happened with Day and Bay, so like whatever. But it was really interesting. He really just laid it out there, and he said that Cody and Nicole are the head of the snake, the head of the beast, and it was a little shocking to hear him throw out both of their names and then also Tyler a lot, because those are my 3 favorites in this house, and that was a little difficult. But it shook up the house, and I think it's drawn a line in the sand that needed to be drawn. because the committee's kind of self-destructing into themselves and fighting amongst themselves. They want Danny gone. Slick Six is having some issues with Day and Bay potentially. Like, it's just a little bit messy because when you have an alliance of that size, that's what happens quickly. Things start self-destructing and there are issues and problems and everything like that. So, Kaiser was of course voted out, and I'm not gonna lie, I was in tears when he got voted out. Not because I didn't want him to go. I think it was his time in this game just because of how he played with Janelle. But seeing him leave was really hard, and hearing him talk about being just an advocate and a voice for the world we live in right now was huge. It was just absolutely beautiful, and I hope that this opportunity being back on Big Brother and back on kind of the mainstream pop culture television will allow for more doors for him to continue to spread his just positivity and his just heart to the world. I was really, really sad that him and Janelle played their season the way they did, mostly because, like, as a huge Nicole Franzel fan, I didn't really like how Janelle played. I think the last 2 times she's come back, this time and then the one before, have not been my favorite of hers, whereas in the beginning of her, you know, BB career, she was my absolute favorite. So that's been hard. But Kaiser left, and it was heartbreaking. That's the word. And you could tell Julie felt the same way too. And so, yeah, that was like a really rough moment, but I think it was also beautiful to get to hear his just heart for speaking out, being an advocate for everything going on in the world right now. And it was really beautiful, and I'm really glad we all got that moment with him and that Julie was there for it. And in a show where, unfortunately, so many different seasons we have seen racism and just disgusting behavior in the house, seeing the opposite was refreshing. Having all these flashbacks to, like, Aaron and even last summer with Jackson, and I am very pleased that we had more of this positivity this year for sure. Anyway, Kaiser left though and went into the HOH competition, and that's where my nerves just picked up. They went crazy, like they were through the roof, and like I'm already getting like anxious even thinking about it again, because I was like, oh my gosh, like whoever wins, like this is gonna affect the game going forward for good. And I wanted, you know, Tyler or Cody or Nicole or someone directly in their alliance to win, not Danny. I'm not really feeling her anymore. So when we started going into it, I was really surprised because Davon got to pick 2 people. She won her round. She got to pick 2 people to go head to head, and she chose Nicole and Cody. She chose them, which kind of to me says that she is maybe trusting what Kaiser says, that she's maybe going to be against them. And I think in doing so, she put a target on her and Bailey's backs a lot. I think there was already a little bit there. I think it's there even more. But when it got down to the final round, I was really nervous. I was like borderline panicking. I almost should have filmed myself reacting because I was freaking out. But Christmas won, and nobody picked her the whole time. They were all worried about bumping each other out. She flew under the radar. She floated through that competition because Day and Bay don't realize that she's in alliance with all those boys through the committee. And so she won, and she's HOH, and I'm so pleased because that means the committee is safe. And I think we're going to see Day and Bay on the block. If people realize that Ian is maybe the mastermind behind Kaiser's revelation, then I think he'll be on the block. I think if they need a pawn, it's going to be David. I think Kevin will be safe this week, and I think Enzo is going to be brought into the commission or to the committee, and the Slick Six alliance will be gone. That's what I really see happening this week. I see that kind of fizzling out, the committee becoming the main driving force in the game. They're going to work together this week. They're going to get out likely Davon, Bailey as collateral if they have to. And then I think from there, they're going to start dividing a little bit more to get rid of Danny. I think she's kind of made her bed and now she has to lie in it. And it's not going to be a good week. I don't think Christmas will backdoor her, but I think we're not too far off of that happening, and I think how Nicole Franzel responds will determine her fate in this game long term as well. The boys are running the house, and as much as I love girl power in the game, they're really running this house and they're doing well, and I'm really loving to see it because I really want Tyler to go all the way and win this year. So that's where we're at. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot of emotion, like I said, involved. But overall, this week was like the kickstart back into the game that we needed. It's been all about getting rid of Janelle, getting rid of Kaiser, everyone more or less just going with the status quo. Oh, excuse me. And I think this week we're seeing the gloves have come off and people are ready to fight dirty, and it's gonna get crazy and I cannot wait. Like I said, I haven't watched live in 2 weeks, so for this to be the week I finally got to watch live, it was perfect. And I knew I was gonna film an episode, like an update video like this, but I didn't realize how amazing the episode would be, so I'm extra glad for that. And I'm planning to update you guys again on Sunday, or again soon. That's the plan, but we'll see what actually goes down in the house. Either way, if you guys have enjoyed this little recap of my super fast talking, rambling, crazy, over the top recap, give this video a thumbs up. Then comment below your thoughts, feelings, favorite moments, favorite players, least favorite players. If you guys do not agree with me, that's okay. Say it. Just make sure you do it with kindness and civility, understanding that we can still disagree but treat each other with respect. That's all I ask. I don't ask that you all agree with me. That's ridiculous. I've been on Twitter. I know you don't all agree with my thoughts on Nicole alone. And then finally, make sure you're subscribed to my channel with notifications on so you find out as soon as new videos are posted. I also have a BB22 or All-Stars playlist in case you want to watch all of those videos, including my talks about the very first night of the season and things like that. I've also done 2 sets of predictions, mine and then ones I pulled from a shark bowl, my shark bowl sushi. So yeah, go check those out. All in all though, I think the game is finally ramping up. It has gone from a simple let's get rid of the, you know, kind of older players to now a really fierce fight. And I think this next week and whoever goes home and how the week after looks is going to be critical. I think this new competition could really shake things up. These new powers, it's gonna be really interesting, and I am so ready for it. I'm just so ready for it. So here we go. But anyway, thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the super fast talking, like I said, super fast talking, rambling, just recap and rant on the episode and how the season's going so far. But thank you guys all again for watching, and I will see you all soon.